Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Hi. So today I will do the revision of topic 1 till topic 4 for animation. Okay, so this one for the test 1, okay. So we only have one test. And then next is a final examination. Okay, so this one is a topic 1, introduction of animation. So this one is only revision. Okay. Animation. Okay, when we talk about animation, right, so animation is the creation of the illusion of movement using series of this still image. So remember the words of the illusion of movement. Okay, what is illusion of movement? Last time I already mentioned to you, still image is the picture don't have like, don't, is not move. Okay, then when you have the series, you arrange the timeline, right, for the still image, then they create the illusion of movement. So this one is the animation. To animate, give a life to an object. Animation is moving on something that cannot move on its own. Okay, so at least remember illusion of movement of the still image. Okay, next, animation adds to graphic the dimension of time, which increase the potential of transmitting the desired information. To animate, the animator has to specify directly how the object has to move through the time and space. Okay, so this one is about the how animation was developed. Okay, so this one is the history of the animation. So you need to remember, for the first, who create this one. First animation called film as Il Apostol. Okay, Il Apostol created by Curino Cristiani. So just remember Cristiano Ronaldo. That one is Cristiano Ronaldo, right? So just change as a Cristiano Ronaldo, but his name is Curino Cristiani. 1917, featured film called Il Apostol. So this one is first animation. Okay, then the history of the animation. So you can see here, history of animation. 1924 is the first film with the synchronized sound of the automobile film. Okay, so this one is like about the character actually talk in the animation. Okay, none of the character actually talk in the animation. So this one is automobile. So just now is what we call Il Apostol. So this one from the created by Curino Cristiani. Okay, then the 1930 3 minutes feature film, that first ever techno film. Okay, and then 1940 first stereoscopic sound, Walt Disney Malaysia. Okay, and then they go for the 1950 first animation made with widescreen format. So 1961 is the first feature film with the geographic process, replace the hand in of each frame. Previously at the first they used the hand in. Okay, and then 1980s first stereoscopic, the 3D, that one is like red color, the glasses, right, red color and blue color. So we call it 3D stereoscopic. My degree last time I did for this 3D. They have like using the, we call another words is 3D anaglyph actually. So the film name Abracadabra. Okay, so at least you just remember some of the year and then with the title. Okay, and then 2003 full animated film, the vector package Adobe Flash, Wizard and Giant. So you started to use the Adobe, is a what we call Wizard and Giant film. 2010 first animate using 7.1 surround sound. Okay, so this one example. Okay, basic animation concept, they have keyframe. You already know, right, what is keyframe, twinning, onion skin. That onion skin is the design, and then you want to move the character, right, then you can see the previous movement of the character. That one is onion skin, you already done it. Okay, and then frame by frame, and then frame rate. Okay, what is 2D animation? Okay, just now I already talked to you about the animation illusion movement of still image. And then 2D animation is what? 2D animation is the creation of the moving picture in the two-dimensional environment. So 2D animation is the creation moving picture, like I already mentioned, still image, right? Still image, and then have the illusion of the movement. So it's like moving of the picture in the 2D dimensional environment. And then what we call this have achieved by the sequencing image after the other simulate movement. Okay, this is different from 3D animation. 3D animation creates three-dimensional worlds that character or object can move around in. Okay, so this one is the distinction between 2D and example of the differentiate between 3D, the dimensional. Okay. Okay, so this one you need to read through also between that the 2D and 3D, the versus of the 2D and 3D. Okay, what is the difference? Okay, 2D animation, 2 dimension. Okay, 2D animation is created in 2-dimensional space involving only height and width. Still remember last time I draw on the whiteboard, right? Between 2D and 3D. Okay, 2D they have two only. Axis is the line, right? They have height, tinggi, and then width. Okay, okay, and then it's like only flat image. When you design last time, right? It's like only flat image, only 2D design. The character and object are flat, do not have any depth or volume. Okay, they move along the y and x axis that I mentioned to you. The axis, right? They only have two saja. Okay, it means like height and width, x and y. Okay, and then traditional animation is included technique and hand-drawn animation, cell animation, and vector-based animation. Example, this one you can include the Disney cartoons and others. Okay, 3D dimensional. So just now I already mentioned 2D, and then 3D we have 3 axes. Okay, so they have space including height. Okay, so it means like they have x, y, z. Okay, height, width, and depth. Depth is kedalaman. Okay, it means like that's why your character can be moved around in 360. Okay, so remember between 2D and 3D, 2 axes, 3 axes. Okay, 2D only height and width, and then 3D have another one, depth, kedalaman. Okay, okay, and then realistic depth, character and object have volume and can move along the y and z x, y, z axis, creating a more realistic visual experience. And then computer generated CGI. CGI is chapter 4. Remember the motion what called graphic? Not remember that one. CGI. So this one is a 3D animation. Is often created using computer software and involve modeling, texturing, rigging, animation, and rendering. Okay, when the words texturing, rigging is like one who make the character walk. If 2D, we use twinning. In the Adobe Animate, right, we use twinning. The word is twinning. If 3D, we use like Blender or 3D Max or Maya software, we call it as a rigging. Okay, texturing, rigging, animating, and rendering. Rendering is like for example, previously I think you already learned Encik also subject, right, to render a video or whatever. That one is rendering. Okay, okay, so basically 3D related with texturing, rigging, animating, and rendering. Okay, example animate like Toy Story, Frozen. Okay, so this one you can read through. Okay, so because it's only revision, so hopefully you can understand the main important part. Okay, so done chapter 1. We go for the chapter 2, principle of animation. Okay, this one is so principle of animation, we have 12 principle of animation. Okay, so this one example of the illusion lah, Frank Thomas. Okay, so I will go next. Okay, so you need to remember the 12 principle of animation. Okay, so this one is 12: squash, stretch, timing, space. So I hope that you can remember it, because this one is the most important for the principle or for the animation subject, the 12 principle of animation. So let's say this one, the question, right, maybe they will put the wrong answer, so you need to remember which one is the right answer of the 12 principle of animation. So this one is 12. Okay, okay, then this one, the description. Okay, the description, you need to at least remember the key point. For example, the squash, stretch. What is squash and stretch? So it means like they have like compression of the object, and they have the collision. Collision tu pelanggaran, like how they like from down and then they come up back. They have like the not like gravity, it's something like the stretch of the ball. Okay, So this one like you can read through. Okay. Okay, timing and spacing. Okay, timing and spacing is like slow and fast timing. Okay, texture, and then the elements like time and distance between image. Okay, so hopefully that you can remember of each 12 principle of animation and with the description. Okay, so this one is like 24 frames. Okay, time and spacing. Okay, next, anticipation. Okay, anticipation is how the body is ready to perform an action. The retreat of anticipation. Okay, so it's like for example they want to jump. Okay, so they already have the prepared the movement before that. Okay, so it's more into the reaction. Okay. Okay, and then stagging. Okay, stagging is a clear and effective way to represent a scene. Okay, the posture of the character body. Okay, and that is involved the character are present, the content of the scene, the camera, the lighting, everything will help the audience content the animation. Stagging is presentation of an idea so that become the real and very clear. Okay, so this one is about stacking. Previously in the class I already like explained you 3 details, right? Okay, so this one we just like have the revision at least like maybe like before this you haven't read it, at least you can like clear some part first. Okay, then number 5, follow through overlapping action. Okay, so this one is like when the main body character stop all the parts continue and catch up to the main mask the character, such as okay, so this one is nothing stop at all once. Okay, so this one is a follow through overlapping action when the character change the direction while the clothes or hair continues. Okay, so it mean like the movement of the character. Okay, so it's like delay the some part of the movement. For example, when the character like this dog, right, want to like what we call from jump and then want to attack or something, right, so the character taste like will be left behind. Okay, so this one is follow through overlapping and action. Please read, okay, some like for because right each of the chapter will take out, we have 40 question. Okay, 40 question objective, and then we have 40 then we have like 4 topics, so each of this topic we take out 10 of the question. So please, for the what we call for the principle, right, you need to read through and understand each of the 12 principle. Okay, then number 6, straight ahead and pose to pose action. Okay, so this one is like how to even up the scene. This means animating the movement sequence, creating pose after pose. Okay, so straight ahead, pose to pose. So remember, creating pose after pose. Setiap pose part by part, like you do like shark, right, the jurong, right. Okay, so it means like the character movement part by part, creating the words is creating pose after pose, frame after frame. Okay, frame, right, part by part. Okay, and then straightforward. Okay, and then this one, another one. Okay, in pose to pose animation, the animator plans the scene finding and calculating and how many image need to animate scene. So do you remember previously, like I already mentioned, if you want to have a smooth character movement, you need to have follow the how many sequence, how many frame by frame the character need to have pose to pose. Okay, so it mean like macam you design the character, you want to make it the character angkat tangan, right, so you need to part by part, not like this one part and then straight away naik, but it's like slowly. Okay, so this one is pose after pose. Pose to pose. Okay, pose to pose is used for animation that requires good action where pose timing and important. Okay, slow in, slow out. Okay, slow in, slow out refer the timing and object. Okay, just like it's timing and object. So right, it's like the space and timing, right? So slow in, slow out refer the timing of an object of our figure that beginning on the end sequence. So what in the meaning of the slow in, what is the meaning of the slow out? Okay, read through. So this one, slow in action decelerate into the keyframe, meaning that the object will move slower. Slow in, Okay, dia move slower. Slow out, dia laju. Like macam you main buat lah. Okay, example. And then this one, arcs. The arcs, ARCS. The arc represent the value of an object parameters at the specific moment in time. The method used calculating interpolated keyframe values determine characteristic of the arc motion. So this one is arc. Okay, the character I mentioned when you want to have hand right, it's not like pendek macam ni. So you need to have to move the way what we call the calculating interpolated keyframe. Okay, so this one is for the arc. Okay, if like you see like macam calculating interpolated keyframe ni, arc lah ni maksudnya. Okay. Okay, exaggeration, dia macam membuat-buat dah, melebih-lebih. It's like for your expression face, right? Exaggeration is the animation principle introduced. Okay, siapa introduce this exaggeration? Frank Thomas, ingat Thomas yang kereta api Thomas tu. And then Ollie Johnston. Okay, Ollie Johnston. Okay, siapa yang create nya exaggeration ni? Okay, so Frank Thomas dengan Ollie Johnston. Okay, this principle is used to push movement further, add more appeal to an action pose or expression. Okay, you can keep adding the exaggeration until you get satisfied. Macam ni lah, tunjuk macam mana kita terperanjat kan. Okay, so dia terperanjat tak dalam muka macam bela je tu kan. Okay, so this one exaggeration. Siapa yang create? Frank Thomas, kereta api tu, and Ollie Johnston. Bila when we talk Thomas right, I terfikirkan that kereta api yang warna biru tu. Okay, and then number 10, secondary action. Apa tu secondary action? Is a result directly from another action. Secondary action are important, heightening interest and adding a realistic complexity to the animation. Okay, ini secondary action. Let's how do you explain this one? Appeal. Appeal is the animation like create interesting character to appeal the audience. Let's say you want to create a macam like this UTHM student. Okay, takkanlah you want to create like the character looks like US punya student. It's more into like Malaysian the what we call like for example FTV student. For FTV student, we will like more presentable like looks like with the heels, with the baju kurung, right? With the formal attire because they are becoming teacher, rather than you go for the like others courses for the engineering, pure engineering. So this one is appeal. So appeal like represent the individual of the character that you want to show them. Okay, appealing animation doesn't mean making everything fluffy, the cute, but creating clear visual design that will capture the audience interest. Okay, so this is how you recreate the character. Is clear visual design. Appeal is to create interesting character that appeal to the audience. Okay, and then solid drawing. The last one is a solid drawing. Yes, solid drawing is the animation principle which make the drawing look three-dimensional. Okay, it's still 2D, but when you want to make it like looks like 3D, we create like isometric view. Okay, for example, right, this one when you see is 2D, but when you have the isometric view, so slightly looks like 3D. I have a 3D angle, but still in the 2D. So this one make it like the design is more solid. Okay, and then it looks like have the volume 3D dimensional, but actually it's 2D. Have the volume, weight and balance. Okay, this one is required for the knowledge of drawing, because I'm not sure last time your lecture teach or not the isometric view, the 3D angle, right? So this one is like from the 2D can become like 3D drawing. With solid drawing, you will be able to draw figure from any side, which is help animating your drawing. So it's not like your character only flat 2D. So maybe like from the top view angle, or maybe like isometric view angle. So this one is under solid drawing. So hopefully that you can understand about this 12 principle. Done topic 2. So we go for the topic 3. Type of animation. Okay, in future, right, this video you can use for the final exam, because final exam okay, here we have 7 topic total out for the animation. Okay, so today I already done 4 what we call the video of the revision of the 4 topic, right? So another in future, right, for the final, another is like topic 5, 6 and 7. So we only have another 3 topic. So in future, before the final examination, I will do add on another 3 topic. So combined together, I have done what we call part 1 and part 2 for the revision. Okay. Okay, type of the animation. Okay, so please like be familiar with these types. Okay, these listed types. Okay, like 2D animation, 3D animation, stop animation, mechanical animation. You just remember mechanic. Audio animatronics and automatronics looks like transformer names, right? Okay, just remember the things. Okay, because this one is like objective. It's quite easy as long you remember the keywords and understand the important part. And then Chucky machine, just remember Chucky. Puppet, clay animation, Zoetrope. Okay, Zoe. And then cut out. Oh yeah, do you remember previously I give the, how you want to remember, right? Do you remember last time I give the shark, Jerome tu kan? The student name, original name is Joey. Her name is Zoe actually. Who I not remember. Zoetrope. Okay, just remember the Zoetrope for the shark. Okay, and then cut out sand animation, typography, pane of glass animation. Okay, sand animation pasir, yang lukisan pasir. And then typography tu yang bergerak, motion graphic tu, motion typography. Pane of glass animation tu you ingat yang atas gelas-gelas kaca kan. Okay, so you read through. This one I just go through faster, okay? Okay, 2D animation like involve hand drawn. Okay, 2D animation hand drawn, lukisan tangan. Okay, and then involve drawing of plastic cell, hand painting, animation frame, create animated screens by painted image. Okay, digital. Okay, so basically there's more into the movie industry using 3D software. 3D software like Blender, Maya and 3D Max. Okay, example. And then available film, movie, TV commercial. More realistic. Okay, stop motion using frame animation that you snap picture, capture frame by frame. Capture frame by frame the words. Physical static is mean like physical, the like for example you want to draw or you want to capture this microphone, right? And then it's like you snap one by one, and then this one is the static object, it's not moved. Okay, and then how is moved, like you are the person who move the character, who move the object. Okay, and then snap picture. Okay, and then it's post production animation. Okay, and then you have smooth movement using puppet movie, basically clay. Okay, and then mechanical animation, you can see mechanical looks like engine whatsoever, right? It's animate the machine using mechanical animation. Animate the machine, yeah. Animate the machine. Machine is like you see, into like I don't know, screw can move or whatsoever, right? So this one is mechanic. Allow to understand how the machine works. So this one mechanical animation. Explain function of the machine. Anything about machine is mechanical animation. Okay, audio, animatronic and automatronic. Okay, automatronic is driven by sophisticated camera and sensor. So there are camera, there are sensor. Okay, and then audio, that one is auto. And then audio, another one. Audio animatronic repeats the pre-program over and over again. Dia boleh set program. Example, auto is a robot which can be sense converse with a person in the room. So remember that auto is have the camera and sensor, and then audio is animatronic. Okay, so this one is repeat, pre-program over and over again. Okay, and then Chucky machine, sounds like Chucky. Combination of the stop frame animation, character are dropped into the particular frame. Okay, combination of stop frame animation and live shot, character are dropped into the particular frame. Need to remember. Okay, puppet animation using the live puppet. Live puppet instead of the object. So it's use the puppet lah. Puppet nak patung. Okay, puppet is used to represent the character in the film. Use different puppet heads, allow expression for every possible emotion. So this one is puppet. Clay animation. Okay, clay piece of clay are molded. Okay, piece of clay tu clay lah, tanah liat, are molded to create character. Okay, it mean like a piece, tanah liat tu you create mold tu bentukkan to create character. Macam jadi dia. So and then the material of the clay tu they use oil based and water based clay. Dia ada oil based and then water based clay. Okay, so basically ini je tu clay animation. Animated character are set in the short movement. Okay, short movement je lah sebab dia frame by frame kan. So this one dia ada like ayat molded to the character. Okay, Zoe Trop ni, just remember the student that my Chinese student previously, yang jerung tu yang I give it to you. So Zoe Trop, still image, gambar one by one, right, but they have the movement. And then you remember drum. Ini drum yang pukul tu drum. Okay, turn the circular drum and you have illusion of movement. Example animation using the Zoe Trap. Okay, Zoe Trap je you ingat drum. Okay, drum ada si image nanti dia gerak dekat drum tu, pusing. Okay, so this one is Zoe Trop. Okay, and then next, cut out animation, yang gunting paper cutting tu kan. Paper cutouts are moved under the camera lens. Ini example lah, the example of the animation. Cutout, paper cutout lah, senang. Sand animation. A lit glass table is used as a canvas. So canvas dia adalah dia letak kat bawah ni is the glass, kaca, and then dia letak atas tu pasir. Create the animation by moving the sand in certain direction. Constantly erase the creation to create another scene. Dia dah draw and dia padam, tapi the whole process people need to snap picture. Dia dah lukis satu, sebelum dia padam dia ambil lagi satu gambar. Okay. The image then will be merged tu dia bergabung to show the animation and the process post production process. So like gambar-gambar tu you compile lah, macam software CapCut ke, yang Cik Usul ajar ke, and then combine together and then play, jadilah the animation. Okay, this one example. And then typography animation, font face and letters animation that is set in motion. Example, using for title of a movie, typography, font face, and then letters animation, set motion like macam like lyrics lagu tu lah. Okay, lastly, pane of glass animation. Okay, bila pane of glass, okay, just now clay is the molded, right? Molded, and then they use oil, oil and water base, right? Okay, but this one, pane of glass animation, slow drying. Paints are used on a glass canvas. Slow drying, maknanya tak cepat kering. Slow drying, drying tu kan kering, slow drying, bukan dyeing, slow drying. And then paints are used on the glass canvas. Photograph the paints, so it seem like sand. Dia ambil gambar lah, and then blend the photograph and form of the animation. Okay, thank you, done. It's quite easy, right? We have the revision. Hopefully you can remember. The last one, topic 4, tools and technique of animation. Okay, this one, frame by frame animation. The popular one, what is the frame by frame? Okay, frame by frame animation to create illusion movement. Same like what is animation? Illusion of movement from the still image. See, same. Okay, so that's why frame by frame, so that becomes a smooth movement. Okay, you know, right, the smooth movement you need to have the character, like what we call have a lot of different by frame, the character movement, right? Okay, so this one, frame by frame, or what is animation meaning? Illusion of movement from the still image. Okay. Okay, frame by frame animation is an animation technique composed many different set of the picture. Okay, it's like pelbagai position lah, macam gini, dia lari kan. In the frame by frame animation, each of the change, motion or shape of an object is placed by the frame in the sequence. Okay, so this one is a more frame is okay. The more frame used to the accommodate every detail, the movement animated object will be more subtle. Like I mentioned to you, if you have like more right, the character movement is more like smooth. You need to have like frame by frame, like you draw the character like more details. Okay, remember what is the keyframe, what is the frame, what is the empty frame. Okay, keyframe. Okay, we go for the point part. Okay, in the timeline, right? Okay, important in the timeline. Okay, need to be clicked timeline. So it means like black dot ni ada gambar, ada picture inside the layer. Okay, and then keyframe ni important point, paling penting dalam timeline. Timeline yang panjang ni dot ni yang 1 2 3 sampai itu timeline. Okay. Okay, frame pula. Okay, frame in order you want to the object is the frame to appear in your finished content. Create frame where the symbol instant appear in timeline. Okay, so this one is frame. We read through. What is empty frame dengan blank keyframe? Maksudnya, this one is like blank frame or empty frame or blank keyframe, kosong. Okay, so it mean like bila like you insert the picture, ada keyframe, ada dot hitam. Tapi blank keyframe ni, di notes ni ada white round, maksudnya tak ada apa-apa. Macam gitu. Example. Okay, then remember interpolation ada dua interpolation of animation generate based on the keyframe animation. Okay, the earliest method Walt Disney memang popular. Walt Disney yang guna interpolation animation. Popular memang Walt Disney pun kan. Okay, the earliest method yang first yang gunalah. Okay, the key image place each keyframe characteristic such as time, direction. Okay, ni you can read through lah. Okay, object movement. The animation prioritize the start movement. Okay, the ball from 0 to 1 keyframe is twinning. Okay, ini panggil dia twinning. Ada ball animation yang movement tu lah, interpolation tu. Kalau saya di details kan, explain kan. Okay, so this one ada dua interpolation. Okay, dia ada linear interpolation yang line tegak-tegak tu, straight line je. Dia ada spline interpolation. Spline tu yang macam ada curve, flexi. Okay, ada dua, apa, linear, spline. Linear tu tegak straight line, and then dia stunt sajalah. And then kalau yang ni spline interpolation is like have the flexi, ada curve, ada apa, looks like realistic lah. Macam bola tu tak adalah you balun dia macam ni, ting-ting gitu je kan. So dia ada movement lah, kau nampak dia curve. Okay, animation nombor 3, animation altering. Okay, yang ini you read through lah. Dia ada contoh software lah, Adobe Flash, Animate CC, Pencil 2D. Ingatlah Pencil 2D dah. Cinefix Studio, Crazy Talk, artinya lah Animator, Blender tu Blender pun jadi 2D animation, Blender tapi boleh 3D animation, tapi Blender ada dia 2D and others. Ni animating altering lah. Okay, and then nombor 4, motion capture. Motion capture ni CGI yang popular sekarang ni, CGI, computer generate image. Okay, the process CGI ni computer generate image Okay, the process recording movement object person. Okay lah, yang ini basically dia dekat game lah, apa, record human actor body lah, give lah digital character. Also known as a performance capture, specifically like dia ada capture face, expression, finger movement, macam gitu. Format BioVision hierarchy. Ni contoh motion. And then capture semua. Okay, so I wish you best of luck. So I already done the what we call revision chapter 1 to chapter 4. Hopefully this one can be help to you. Okay, all the best. Bye bye. Thank you.